The body knows. Now, the body knows a lot more through its senses, whereas we know a lot of things through our cognitive functioning. Now, let's talk today about what is it exactly that our body knows and understands that goes beyond what we think we know about the body. Hi, and welcome to today's talk. The body knows. I love this topic, and we're going to have such a great time together here today discussing this in-depth topic, the body knows. And also hang on tight, because at the end, we will also be going through a very powerful healing meditation. Now, for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Evette Rose. I'll be your facilitator for today. And also, I'm best and well known for having written this big book called Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a big book, as you can see, of 679 medical elements and the psychosomatic stress of that for adults. And yes, we have the children's version as well. Now, but today we're going to talk a little bit more actually about this book, The Body Knows, because I wrote this book having traveled so many times around the world and worked with thousands of people. And I accumulated so much incredible research and data as well. Because let me tell you, the body knows a lot of things. The body knows a lot of things. It has its own system and how it operates. We have then the biology of the body, which is now the part that I'm referring to. That's the part of your body that tells you to breathe, to feel emotions, to think certain thoughts, and also how it stores certain experiences. We also have thoughts that formulate themselves. Now, we also have automatic responses as well, and the way that the body now continues to progress through life. Now, it has one main focus, and that is to keep you alive. It's its sole purpose, and also, of course, its sole focus. Because if you're not alive, the body ceases to have a purpose in the world. Everything after that, like wanting to have children, success, falling in love, these are all byproducts and the after effects, like a positive ripple effect, like the symptoms of the body being able to keep you alive. So that's one of its main functions. And then the way that it can also do that is if we give it all the resources that it needs to survive. Now, to know what the body needs to function at its optimum level is to understand what the body is trying to communicate to us when it feels depleted, tired, exhausted, anxious, depressed, or maybe when it's lacking certain nutrition. The list can be endless. But in one way or another, the body is communicating to you because it knows that something is out of balance and it needs to be listened to. Now, I get it. Life is very exciting, and we're often engaged in adventures, and we get caught up in various forms of entertainment, which might not always be positive. Now, sometimes there's stress, there's chaos, there's work-related trauma, or personal life trauma, which can create disconnections or lead to stuck patterns, coping mechanisms, secondary gains, and so much more. So when we are distracted, it's very challenging to hear what the body has to say. It's not easy to listen to the messages. It's trying now to convey something, but we can't hear it. So miscommunication occurs, and the body now remains in a state of imbalance, lacking something that it needs, whether it's rest, peace, less stress, vitamins, nutrition, and so on. Now, the situation can become a lot more complex if we're dealing with a biological lack, maybe a lack that's inherited from our ancestry. Not all challenges in our life stems from this lifetime, because this lifetime can exacerbate and maybe trigger pre-existing conditions, or we can develop new issues based on what the body lacks. So several factors can affect the body's health because of our health. Our health is everything. If we don't have a good health, you're going to have a lot of problems. So without a healthy body, it's difficult to think positive thoughts, to stay motivated, to feel excited, to be happy, and I've been there too. I understand that. And one of the many reasons why is because we don't prioritize our relationship with our body, right? We don't prioritize that relationship because our body lets us feel emotions and sensations, good, the bad, and the ugly. But not all of us like to feel pain or emotional discomfort, be it maybe sadness, unhappiness, depression, or anxiety. So when we experience these sensations without fully understanding the origins, we often now apply the wrong solution. Now, in these cases, we might resort maybe to say unhealthy distractions like alcohol, chocolate, unhealthy food, or many, many other harmful coping mechanisms like maybe partying, staying out too late, not getting sufficient sleep. Now, these feel-good factors are like almost like temporary band-aids, like that we put on chronic sores. They don't address the underlying messages that the body is trying to convey, why there is now this chronic sore, meaning a chronic problem that we might have in our life. Now, the problem is that the body is perceiving and experiencing continuous problems, and it starts to escalate. Now, the voice gets louder and it shouts harder. And the sensations, the pain, the discomfort, or the depression, or the anxiety that you're feeling, it becomes stronger. So now what do? We push back. And we again apply the wrong solutions to the wrong problem, and then acting in ways that's actually more destructive rather than constructive for the body. And we think that we're dealing with a problem because the unhealthy actions that we take in the moment make us feel better. But the problem actually, in hindsight, continues to exist. Now, we don't like to listen to the body because we don't like to feel. Because in order to listen to the body, we need to feel our emotions. But what do? As long as we can feel better in that moment, we might wonder or think, well, maybe I've addressed the problem. However, the challenges now arises with, like most of us, including myself, we don't like feeling these negative feelings. We don't like feeling the language that the body is trying to communicate to us, saying that something is wrong. It's not enjoyable to feel stress or anxiety or depression or discomfort, and we all know that. And I've been in my own avoidance place of state of mind as well. I'm not preaching here to the choir. Let me just be straight with that. So what happens is we start associating the body with negative emotions, with unpleasant feelings, and we don't want to feel. But just to put it quite frankly, but anyone who has experienced stressful times or pain knows that it doesn't feel great. Now, where is that pain coming from? What is the source? It's the physical body. Now, over time, we might subconsciously associate the body with pain, discomfort, and avoidance. And the association that we start to form, this creates now a negative relationship with the very thing that we should be befriending and actually building a connection with, to understand its messages and to alleviate the problem or the pain that it is experiencing. And here now we're dealing with a rather unpleasant scenario because the body knows what it needs, but it's trying to convey that and it's attempting to prompt you to take action. However, we often don't listen. So now we avoid, we project, and we reject. And as a result of the body, it doesn't get what it needs. Now we ignore it. We fail to listen. And the more the body will go now into a state of distress, because the alarm bells and the red flags that now is being raised in an attempt, of course, in this case, to get your attention, is not being listened to. So it can potentially get worse. Now, this can lead to increased anxiety, depression, negative emotions, negative thinking. And these symptoms can actually start to get worse or even surface because the body is running out of resources to cope with stress. So our lifestyle, our thinking patterns, and our diet might not always align with the body. But here's the problem. One thing that I've learned is that our environmental stimuli and also what's in our environment can greatly impact our health. I know that diet plays a very crucial role, and I know that you know that as well. But often it's an overlooked aspect in our emotions. Emotions are like the GPS of our mind and body. They tell us what we like, what we dislike, what we do want, what we don't want, what we want to achieve in our lives. We like to feel and to listen when we feel good. But when something feels unpleasant or stressful, we start to go into avoidance mode. Now, this is where things starts to go wrong. We often think negatively, which can greatly contribute to the body acting up again. And then we criticize it and we judge it again instead of asking, how can I help you? What is going on? What do you need? So some of us wait until we're pushed beyond our limit before we start to look for support, before we go to a doctor or a therapist or a naturopath or whatever professional that is needed. Because listen, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, pain is a call to action. All the discomfort and the emotional distress that we feel when it reaches its peak, that's the body's way of saying that I lack what I need in order to be happy to live an optimal life with you. So can we maybe address this? You see, so here's where emotions play a very important role, because emotions, they can affect your blood pressure. We know that they can affect your heart rate. They can trigger the fight or flight response in the body. They can activate subconscious memories within the body and initiate a very strong biochemical reaction based on these memories throughout your body. The body remembers, the body knows. So when the body reacts to stress and it's now triggered by environmental stimuli, which we now often fail to recognize, right? We feel it. We can feel it, but we might not necessarily know what the source is of it in that moment. So what do? We attempt to counterbalance these feelings. And the main issue is that we often don't like to feel. We don't fully understand our emotions and the power that they hold over the body's psychological responses. And now we nurture certain emotions for extended periods, and they can now greatly impact the body parts. Now, this is where electrical currents run through our body, and the electromagnetic field helps nerve receptors to actually communicate with each other. So proper nutrition and dietary choices are actually very important for healthy nerve receptors to communicate effectively. But when we don't value our bodies or establish an emotional connection with them, we might meet the body's needs through self-punishment or avoidance, which means this can actually have an effect on our ability and our body's ability to relay information and data through to different parts of the body and to ourselves as well, in order for us to be able to decipher the messages clearly. Where something that can come through with clarity because our body feels healthy and strong versus a body that's going to give you confused and mixed signals because your body itself feels confused because it feels weak and it doesn't have what it needs. So avoiding our bodies and the relationship with it because it makes you feel bad. That's what we end up doing. And this also means that we avoid understanding what the body really truly needs to be healthy and to feel strong. Now we become stuck in a very negative cycle. We become stuck in negative emotions. Because why? We're just biologically inclined to think and feel very negatively. And this also changing now the responses in the body to heal it can be very slow. Now, this bias is actually designed for survival, and it's linked to the reptilian brain, which is normally the part of the brain that developed first when we look at our evolutionary history. Now, survival-related responses are among the slowest things in the body to actually change. And this is why it's often easier to indulge in things that provide temporary relief rather than address what's causing the body to feel threatened or distressed. So when negative thoughts and feelings and emotions persist, they can lock the body in a negative emotional state, exasperating both the physical and the psychological stress that the body is under. Now, these emotions are dense and they have very low vibrations, whereas the body's natural state is designed to actually be very quite harmonious and have a high vibration. So now, when we energize emotions like anger, guilt, or low self-worth, we disrupt the body's natural current. Now, where we focus now on certain emotions that's negative, this can actually disrupt specific areas in the body's natural current and flow. What does this mean? It means that cells cannot communicate properly with each other. What does that imply? It can potentially trigger emotional and psychological trauma and increase stress or exacerbate existing conditions. Now, it can also activate predisposed conditions. Now, many factors can also come into play at this point, and it largely now depends also on your resilience, your life experiences, and also inherited traits from your ancestors and how we react to life and our environment based on this information. Because it's absolutely fascinating how the body operates and thinks and feels. Now, from an emotional perspective, emotions are often very complex to deal with. I don't have to tell you that, right? It's like a sentiment that I can certainly attest to. Now, emotions might stem from our childhood, traumatic events, or stressful experiences in our childhood. They can also result from inherited traits triggered in this lifetime, or maybe learned behavioral patterns and coping strategies from our parents or other influential figures. Now, I have encountered, for example, numerous people who have experienced emotions that they adopted from someone else. They copied it. And these emotions don't necessarily align with their true emotional nature. And it can create a significant energetic conflict in the body. So now we emotionally react to our environment and how we react to it. This can lead to conflict. For instance, if you aspire to pursue maybe like a particular path in your life, but your parents or other influential figures disagree, a conflict in values now arises. Now, this leads to a clash in the body's electrical currents, and also now as conflicting emotions starts to surface. The body now starts to lose its sense of harmony, and also in situations like this one, as an example. Now, other aspects to understand about the body is also, despite the emotional stress and trauma that it experiences, it must also be addressed gently. So when the body is already oversensitive and traumatized, the nervous system struggles to regulate itself effectively to release this built-up cortisol and nervous energy. So this trapped energy can now surface over time and influence your threshold and your ability to cope with anxiety, depression, or stress. Now, this is why some people become highly irritable, emotionally sensitive, and also prone to outbursts when their bodies and their nervous systems cannot regulate itself. So where does all this nervous energy go? It gets stuck in the body, which does what? It throws the harmonious electrical flow off balance. Now, it's crucial to understand that the body has a spiritual dimension. And the consciousness of the body is primarily focused on survival and pure biological factors. On the other hand, the consciousness of the soul, our spiritual essence, lacks the ego, and it lacks that biological need for survival because life for the soul is eternal. And the lack of the ego means that there are no dramas that's stemming from a physical body or related aspects like, emotions and anger and hormones and fluctuating negative thoughts. So these physical aspects can lead to the negative side of the spectrum. And then they often carry what? They carry traumatic memories. On the spiritual side, these negative aspects are absent because there's a greater understanding and no emotional wounds to be triggered. Now, to connect with and to understand the body's messages fully, there's two conscious polarities that needs to be understood and also how to harmonize them. Because in this way, messages and emotions can be translated correctly and constructively when addressed. So to do this, you must connect to the body through intuition. Because however, now intuition can often communicate through sensations and emotions. That's how it communicates to us. That's how we become aware of it. So now what happens is we start to assess whether our intuition is really truly giving us a message from the body, or is it triggered emotions that's maybe coming from past memories or subconscious comparisons? Now, this clarification is actually crucial because blocked intuition can impede your relationship with your body. Because befriending the emotions is here very essential. Because we should now actually try to avoid every single negative emotion like an enemy, right? That's not going to help us. There's no point in attacking negative emotions. The more we learn to feel our emotions from a non-judgmental perspective, the easier it becomes to actually navigate through them, distinguishing between old and new emotions and recognizing what is balanced or triggered by old memories. Now, this is crucial because the more we suppress trauma and ignore the body's messages, the more this trauma can develop into a lifestyle pattern due to recurring stress cycles. And the body has a way of anchoring memories, not just in cognitively, but also throughout cellular memories, the nervous system, muscle memory, the fascia, and other parts of the body where tension is. Remember, you are an expression of your ancestors. That's undeniable. And they provide us with genetic codes for issues and also their corresponding solutions. Now, these codes are passed down through generations. However, sometimes the solutions to the issue faced in the past from the ancestors was maybe not found. Now, as a result, these problems persist in the DNA lineage, and it's passed down to our generation to find a solution. Now, this is the essence of evolution. And when these solutions are discovered, the body adapts by finding alternative ways to cope and deal with these issues. And then the body knows how to adapt. It's just a matter of how resourceful we can be in providing the body with what it needs to adapt. Now, to do that, we must also understand what the body wants and needs. Now, if you are enjoying this, you will absolutely love our intuitive body workshop. We have this on a regular basis, and here you're going to actually be learning how to read the body like a book. It's absolutely wonderful how you're going to start to understand the psychosomatic messages behind certain parts of the body, ailments, or even also pain. You're going to learn how to perform remote healings. You're going to heal and open up your intuition. You're going to find your own intuitive reading style as well. You're going to learn and understand what certain parts of the body is trying to say when there's pain or distress. You're going to learn how to do also remote viewings as well. So this is so much fun, and also know and understand why the body also doesn't always heal. And all our courses, including this one, is also IPHM accredited and also CTAA accredited. And that is the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine and also the Complementary Therapist Accredited Association. So I would love to see you at these workshops because you're going to have so much fun. And we also have weekly master classes every Wednesday. You can find everything at evetterose.com as well. And this workshop is absolutely not to be missed because people who have taken this workshop in the past have found it incredibly valuable. And also you'll have the choice to learn and apply these skills if you want to do that to continue to become a practitioner, or you can just do it for yourself. You can learn how to interpret messages from other people's bodies, decode their messages, uncover the body's secrets, and also learn how to do these remote viewings, which is so much fun. You don't need to have a person right in front of you in able to understand what is going on in their body as well. And so now let's start our healing meditation. And when you are ready, you can sit up or you can lie down, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And I invite you, let's start by taking a nice deep breath. One more breath. And now, I invite you to just take a moment and connect to your body and just feel your surroundings. Just have awareness of what is around you. And it works best when your eyes are closed, just sensing the walls, sensing the furniture maybe, or the floor, or the computer or the phone in front of you. Just allowing yourself to relax. Even opening your mouth a little bit, relax your jaw. And as you're opening your mouth a little bit, drop your shoulders, relax, easing into the surface that is beneath you. And now, imagine or sense yourself in an open space where there's nothing around you. And in that open space, imagine now a big healing waterfall. Allowing yourself to step underneath that waterfall and feeling how the waterfall is releasing stress in your body. Healing, resolving, and dissolving stress in the body. Feel how it's releasing tension, tiredness, exhaustion. And now, I invite you to also acknowledge the difference between your identity and other people's stress that you might have taken on. Feel how all that stress is also just draining out of your body, just down, 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 into the earth. And now, I invite you to think of something that's maybe bothering you, whether it's stress, a challenge, anxiety, or maybe you have pain right now, or tension. Have awareness of that right now. And if it's pain, of course, you know the area already, which is perfect. But if it's an emotion, I invite you to observe now, where in your body do you feel that emotion? Where do you have awareness of that? And as you start to have awareness of that, shift your full focus and awareness to that area right now. So if you feel maybe sad and you feel the sadness is in your heart, bring your full focus and awareness to your heart center then, or wherever you feel the area of the body is. And now, this is very important. On the count of 3, that part of the body is you're going to pretend that that part of the body is going to give a message to you, or just shout something really fast. Don't think about it. Just let it immediately come out on the count of 3. And 1, 2, 3. And observe that message without judgment. What is the body trying to say to you other than just the emotion that you were feeling? Because maybe you have pain or you have an emotion, but this part in the body that just try to communicate to you, there's something else that's trying to come through. And how clear that message comes through depends also on how good and healthy is our relationship with our body. So if you feel a little bit frustrated right now, that's okay. This can, of course, be healed and be fixed, and you can continue to work on your relationship with your body, and that channel will become clearer and clearer. Because the body is showing you here that something needs to be acknowledged. Could be a hidden aspect, maybe a particular challenge or a stress point. But the body is eager now here to bring your awareness to something. And whatever the answer is, now envision A warm, beautiful stream of light from your head down your body, down, 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 flowing through your body, flowing into the area where you received that message. Feel how this healing light is soothing and healing that area in your body right now. Feel how it's releasing and dislodging. Resolving and dissolving. Resolving and dissolving. Feeling your body starting to expand a little bit. Feeling lighter. Feeling calmer. And I invite you now to bring your full focus and awareness to the bottom of your face. Bring your full focus and awareness to the bottom of your face. And now, with this awareness of this message, knowing that awareness can continue to grow and become clearer for you over time, and that you are exactly where you need to be in your life. And gently start to come back into the here and now. And welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in one of our next episodes. And until then, bye.
So guys, there you have it. Also remember to subscribe to my channel, stay up to date. And also I have a free Mac membership website where we have so many courses up there. There's meditations, there's workshops, whatever you need, it's there. There's so many wonderful webinar replays as well that you can benefit from and also to observe and to learn from. Guys, also remember that I have written 18 books. 18, 1-8. And one of many among them are Metaphysical Anatomy and Psychosomatics for Children. So this one is a Psychosomatics for adults. This one is a Psychosomatics for kids. So these books are super popular. People love it. If you want to learn more about how your body works, understanding messages behind it, maybe you have that gnawing pain or maybe an ailment that's surfacing and you want to understand what is it that your body is trying to tell you. Guys, these books are going to be absolutely invaluable to you. You can find it at evettebooks.com, where you will also find all my other 18 books. And guys, also remember to keep asking all these great questions. I love to answer your questions at Ask Evette, where we discuss, life conundrums and, life challenges, and just answer questions perhaps where you feel, quite stuck in your life. I would love to share my perspective with this and to help you to resolve perhaps certain pain points that you might be having in your life as well. So guys, remember to stay in touch. There's so many great things that's happening. And also something really awesome is that this book is already also in video format. So imagine 679 medical elements in video format, and also with meditations and healing courses, workshops, masterclasses, everything behind that in our platinum membership site. So guys, remember to check that out. There is so many great things happening there. So see you there.